Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, approval or amendments of the meeting agenda. We are going to scratch a couple items.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we will need to table 9.3. And we will need to table 10.2. And then add 11.4, entitled Geothermal Dedication Ceremony. And then add, can't read my notes here. There's a 12.1. Oh, yes, extra duty approvals, put / volunteers. We can do it all in one setting there. And then add a 12.2, which is the LHS DMS staff handbook revisions.
Okay.
And then a 12.3, oh no, we didn't give that to you. Never mind, you don't have a 12.3.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. So, do I have a motion to approve the agenda with the amendments?
I make a motion to approve the agenda with amendments as presented by.
Give me a second.
I will second that.
Thanks. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the agenda with the amendments. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right. Approval of our meeting minutes from July 28th.
So do we have those for summer?
The minutes?
Yeah. On your regular session, so if your guys are on your laptops,
It's the extra duty limit that's minimized.
we thought you went over board policies first, so that's why it's,
Yep.
yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay. So you're going to do that. It's the electronic packet. We will go for it. There it is. Did you see anything on board or no?
I will make the motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to accept the minutes as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. So, public comment?
You skipped correspondence, what we got?
Oh, sorry, correspondence. Okay. Or public comment?
As far as I know.
Early items?
Nothing, Mr. Chair.
Reports, our financial report discussion.
You want to leave that, you want me to?
I guess what we need to look at is, I was trying to prepare for that, for this board meeting. However, my bank statements run very slow. I still don't think that we got, one of the banks as of today, still yet. So I didn't feel like it was a very accurate or fair representation until the second board meeting. And so what I was wondering if you guys would be willing to work with is have it be on the second meeting of the month, have a financial report. That gives my girls time to go through, do their bank recs, get the bank recs, or bank statements in the first place, and then be able to give you an accurate number if that's something that you guys are willing to do, or we can.
Break stuff up.
I could give you a round number.
So if we did it in the first of the month, we'd have to be, it's actually the months before.
Right, it would still be the months before. So this would have been July's information.
And this isn't the first time this has happened, so after talking about it, let's just be consistent here, and just have the second meeting of the month, that way we have time to have to get the bank recs, we're not pressured to try and get it to you, we can have a much more accurate report on that second meeting.
And two, the other thing is we were trying to push for meeting deadlines, so the Wednesday prior to the board meetings, having everything ready and not have as many late items or that sort of thing, and I hate for that to be a late item, really.
Makes sense to me.
Okay, good, so we'll get it to
Thank
you
you.
next meeting.
Okay. Do we need a motion that that becomes part of it?
No. It's just a procedural thing.
Okay. The Lake County Examiner DVD report for discussion.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I've asked our video-friendly reporter to actually present on this. Now, I want to make sure I preface this by saying the Examiner is selling these DVDs, but at the same time, I think there's enough public service with what they're putting together that I think is worth noting. I think it's important for the board to be aware of this and the community to be aware of this. So, do you want me to push play on this?
Where would you like me, I'll talk a little bit and then we can push play on that. Where would you like me to set up?
Go ahead and come right into the front. You tell me when to push play.
Sure. Well, we wanted to put this up on the big screen. Unfortunately, some technical difficulties did not allow that. I should state in my previous life, before I came to Lakeview, I lived in Hollywood and worked for over a decade on film, television, video games, and music. I worked on several movies, television shows, edited music videos. That's why I have this video background, was to come here and present something that I thought was a clean slate. It's very rare to find an area in the entire country that doesn't have a single television station, much less no one doing any sort of professional video production. So that's why I came to Lake County, was to assist with the newspaper to fill that void. And today, actually, we posted our 200th video since I came to town in early March, covering everything from meetings like this and town hall meetings to events around town. If you've seen me around town, you've seen me with my camera in hand. We post new videos on just about a daily basis. And what we've done is expand that out to DVD content as well, because there's certain events that are just a one-off that's simple enough just to put up on YouTube. There's other things like 4th of July, where there's 9 or 10 different things happening over the course of a weekend, and it necessitates making videos about each and every single thing. So it makes sense to compile all of those into a DVD. Now, where this comes into play for the Lake County School District is pretty obvious in that a lot of what we cover is based on school events. Just recently, I posted a video with Mr. Gallagher and Mr. Anderson surveying the new soccer field construction. We did videos for graduation. We did videos for highlights of the baseball season and the softball season and all sorts of things that are related to school events, concerts, meetings, banquets, anything that is of interest here, we try to film as much of it as possible. And if it's something deemed worthwhile to compile into a larger compilation, we'll do so. We've done 13 DVDs total now. That we sell all of them for $10 a piece at the newspaper. But beyond that, it's also a public service as well as something that helps out with the school district in that I'm more than willing to teach video production. Both my parents are school teachers. My dad taught a video production class at his middle school in Eugene. And so I grew up around video and know the benefit of being able to learn something like this. So at the end of last school year, I sat in with the yearbook class and taught them video production. Now they ended up deciding not to use it just because they kind of brought me in right at the very tail end of the year. They wanted to do a video to coincide with their yearbook. It didn't quite work out timeline, but I have a whole presentation to do that as well as video editing. I would love it if more people were creating their own videos and posting them up on YouTube to document life editing. I'm one person with one camera. I can't cover an entire county. So I try to do as much as I possibly can, but to have students involved in this and to be able to expand out, the new art teacher coming in. It's great that he knows graphic artistry, but if we could add the possibility of graphic animation into that, that opens up a whole new world of potential for students to pursue a potential career. One of the students that was in the yearbook class came up to me afterwards and said that she wants to go into graphic animation. Well, that's a hybrid career. You're a graphic artist and you're a video editor. So you need to know video editing if you're going to pursue that as a career. So it's valuable from the school district side to be involved in video content as well as we're happy to document as much of what's going on with the school district as possible. So Mr. Gallagher asked me to come in and present some of these. Like this is the graduation DVD that we made. It covers the LHS graduation ceremony as well as all of the various awards and banquet ceremonies and all the meetings. Probably 4 or 5 hours worth of content on that. We have school plays, we have school concerts, as well as community theater, all sorts of different things. So to kind of give you a sense of some of the video production that we're doing and some of the video production I'll continue to do in the next school year, I put together a little compilation video of highlights from this past school year. And that's what we wanted to show up on the big screen, but we'll have to just kind of stare at Mr. Gallagher's laptop to check this out. And I have an extra DVD of this for those that can't see it.
And you can Google it too.
Yes, it's on YouTube. Is the volume up?
I will check that right now.
This is from the state track and field championships where Lakeview High School won 4 titles.
What, you did a board meeting down Well, I'm here.
Editing for the sake of time. Well, it's also a community service that we do in film days meetings. We also film town council meetings on the basis that normally those would be on a cable access local station. We don't have that here in Lakeview, so the next best thing is to film things, provide the footage unedited for people who can't attend in person. So that's the reason why I have the camera here for all of these meetings. They go up on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. All of the videos that we do go up on YouTube. If you just type in Lake County Examiner, you'll find all of it there. It's all organized into playlists. And the DVDs contain lots of exclusive footage that we don't post online. So if there's videos you like, then chances are we have DVD with a whole lot more on it. So I appreciate the time, and if you have any questions about video production or how I can help out, I mean, I'd love to assist in whatever way I
In fact,
can.
if you're interested, there's our last one, a month or so ago.
No, my.
Getting, you're very patriotic right there.
I'm too close to the camera.
Unless there's any other questions, that's what I had, so.
Good.
You're even,
Yeah, everybody's good.
you know, I appreciate Kurt presenting this today because I really do feel that this is part of a community service. And I know I would have bought every one of the my daughters being part of the activities and everything if we had that service when they were going to school. So I think it's a tremendous piece, and I know Kurt's job is a reporter, but he really is everywhere he can be, and we do appreciate and recognize that, so thank you.
I need a clone if you can figure that one out.
Well, they're well put together. The ones I've seen, very nice jobs.
Thank you.
Okay. Old business.
None, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Our consent agenda, cafeteria fees approval.
Yeah, with cafeteria fees approval, we're not suggesting any changes. And then we're tabling 9.3, and then we see the executive committee approval there for myself.
So I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda with the exception of 9.3 as presented.
A second?
So the motion's been made and seconded to accept the consent agenda, the exception of 9.3. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Consent agenda motion carries. New business, coaching approvals.
Mr. Hamilton, would you like to present?
Yeah, you guys have plenty of the coaching approvals for this coming school year. Up to this point, there are some openings still, but what is on there is what we have so far. So, any questions on any of those or comments?
I saw that you absence and wrestling.
Yeah, we're working on that. Yeah. Coach Zamudio.
What?
Coach Zamudio.
Hey, but a more likely coach would be over there at the veterinary office.
The wrestling and basketball job, we kind of kept those with the hope of hiring some of the teachers that we hired maybe would be able to fill those, and that didn't happen, so we'll open it now community-wide and try to find some people that way.
Okay.
Same with the football, opening the assistant coach.
Well, yeah, that one's kind of up in the air on a few things as far as numbers and stuff like that. And you'll see in a few minutes, there are a couple volunteer approvals for the football team for that job.
That's the closest one.
Yeah.
Make a motion that we approve them.
this fall as presented. Any other discussion?
It's for the school year.
Oh, I'm sorry. School year. Okay. It's school year. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. In two, we removed 10.3, teach repair, recommendations, analysis, and approval.
Yes, Mr. Chair, before Janet kind of presents the numbers on this, I was out with Susan Warner and take a look at the union facilities, just kind of walk through, we had a chance to visit Dietrich. We have the east half rented for main storage, and the west half is open, it's a duplex, remember. And we were walking through it, and the condition that it's deteriorated into is a great concern in terms of any occupancy. We have some asbestos issues in there and also some lead paint issues which we need to get resolved. We did have an inquiry about the Dietrich for one of our incoming new staff hires, and we felt it best to table that until we decided as a district what we wanted to do with that. Janet's going to present some numbers here for you because, you know, we do, with the rent that we've collected over the years for that Dietrich, we do have an account set aside and some funds in there. So after Janet does her presentation, we decide what we want to do. Whether we want to invest the money that we have accumulated into that Dietrich so that it really does come back up to what we would consider appropriate standards, or we could look at just mothballing it and not using it for occupancy at all. So it's really for the board to decide. So Janet, you want to take the numbers?
Currently for 14-15, we have budgeted in there approximately 14,967. And after speaking with the maintenance crew as to how much work was going to have to actually be done, there's an asbestos issue out there. We'd either have to encapsulate it in some areas or abate the asbestos. So we figured approximately 10,000 at least for that. And then the appliances are all very, very old and probably actually need to be replaced. So we're looking mostly to 5,000. So we're roughly, that would be the end of our budget at that point. The other thing that we felt was that we'd have to actually have somebody in there that would commit to us for 3.5 years being in there, $350 a month in order to make that calculate back out and pay it back. But it is pretty old. I personally have not been out there to look at it, but I know that there's quite a few issues with the asbestos, and we have to take very good care of that in order to not face concern there. So.
Yeah, we probably have to take care of that anyway.
Only if we're going to be
Housing stuff.
occupying.
Oh, really? We just,
We just boarded it up and shut her down.
yeah, I think we just do that sort.
You rented for only $350 a month?
That's what we have been.
Yeah, that's the other side of the 350.
So what do you think? You think?
I did it, I saw that carpet. I also saw the rental that I paid $700 a month for, so it wasn't worse than much better than that.
My favorite is the couple of Bismarck room.
Yeah.
It's quite the mosaic of different carpet out there, I'm sure.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But, you know, the carpet has got a lot of tears in it, exposing the tile and asbestos, and the mastic and the glue, as well as we have some paint issues that we know there's some lead paint that needs to be cleaned out. We need to decide what to do with that.
And the countertops also, they said that they had asbestos in the countertops, is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Really? It's not for Michael?
No, the countertops are what we refer to as linoleum,
Oh,
another sheet flooring. They call it sheet flooring now. And the top surface does not have asbestos in it, but it's the black paper backing on the back of it that is. And some of it's pretty well worn. I haven't been there in a long time. I even think that you can see some black in worn places.
So that means
worn a lot,
that
you can
is-
start to see the paper backing.
okay.
Yeah, it's just been used to the point where to occupy it, we need to use them.
So Deb was our long-term tenant, and she still rents it for storage.
For storage.
Not as a facility to live in. And then our last tenant was Mrs. Allnoy for just, what, a few months, wasn't it?
A little longer than that, but yeah.
Just kind of an interim as she was finishing up.
Yeah.
If,
For another half a year.
I mean, obviously it's in disrepair, so it's not desirable, but even if it was in a desirable state, what is our, I mean, how would we justify long-term rental? I mean, do we have much of a demand? I mean, if it was a really nice facility, do you think that we'd have many takers that'd say, hey, come here, because I want to live a teacher, sure, that's a neat.
Well, the district has certainly tried to reserve it for teachers,
Right.
in case we do have times that housing is difficult. And we have had some pressure times, probably most recently, what, 3-4 years ago maybe?
That one year.
Pipeline, big,
The pipeline is a great example,
all those rentals.
you know. And so it does provide a service for the district. Is there much of a desire? Well, you know, it's actually pretty roomy. There's 3 bedrooms and nice living room, big kitchen. You got a front porch. It's a lot bigger than what you would imagine. I mean, if it was fixed up, I think it'd be very attractive, but that's my opinion.
I mean, I guess, I'm just trying to think, we want to be able to justify if we
Sure.
fix it up, that we can recoup some of that money.
Right.
I think it's a nice bonus to have, because like you said, sometimes we get teachers that are looking for a or maybe a student teacher. It's a nice offering, saying we have a facility that you can rent for a little bit to get your feet on the ground.
It could even be used for the ILC if we have nursing students or plans to take advantage of the program.
I mean, I think if we were gonna put money into it, then we need to come up with a plan on how we could utilize it. Student teachers, opportunities for teachers that need a place to stay. If we invite people down for, like I said, incorporate it into the high school and learning center piece, if somebody wants to come down and teach a short course or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, but we need to
Yeah.
really build that into a justification on how we're gonna utilize it, not let's just fix it up and hope they show up.
Well, we could even, if it's not being occupied, I mean, oftentimes when we bring in people from out of town to interview, we do put them up in a hotel. Well, if it was fixed up nice enough, we might even go put them up out there, get a bed,
Yeah.
something going on.
Well, I just looked at the numbers, and to me, since you have a fiscal year value that tackles the appliances and the abatement,
Mhm.
right? From my point of view, just listen to the discussion here. Certainly, painting, the paint issue, paint, another layer of paint, and the new carpet, those are the most affordable upkeep kind of things. Carpets are very affordable. It's the most affordable flooring there is, relatively speaking, I mean, it's not like putting a wood floor in or putting a whole vinyl floor in. And even with the vinyl floor, right, just right on top of the current floor, that's encapsulation, so to speak, right?
So, would that be encapsulation?
Yeah.
Well, they'd have to put in a new subflooring and then put the tile on.
Yeah, that would be, so if you just said a vinyl floor, I want to do a vinyl floor, and a subfloor and a vinyl floor, you've dealt with that issue, and you've got yourself a nice floor throughout the whole trees, and you can then say, hey, and it's, instead of carpet, you can say, it's good for somebody that has allergies. You could just move it out to a lower maintenance, less allergy, less concern, less dust and dirt, kind of stuff. And that's in that $10,000 range.
So, I mean, I've been buying a teacher a million times, I've never been in, it's a duplex.
Mhm.
Does each unit have three, is it
Mhm.
each, 3 bedrooms on each side?
Yeah,
So are we talking both duplexes or picking one and upgrading one?
I do believe this is just for that one half. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it seems reasonable that we would tackle, if we're gonna do a tackle half,
right,
and then
yes.
build on that.
being used for storage, we're not worried about that piece at this point.
It's rented to use for storage?
Yeah.
The other, the other possibility too is, I know that at the hospital, they are constantly looking for housing, over there for nurses that are traveling, anybody that's on a temp basis, so
Yeah,
I know that they are always.
so we could rent, if we think that, that's a bigger thought for us to think. What do you think, Pete?
I think that's a neat idea. Does that open a can of worms? Because it is part of the school grounds and the learning facilities, and people have to have a background check, they're living kind of on the grade school property.
Do they background checks for hospital?
Well, the nurses probably have their own background.
And I would think that they would be great, but I'm just saying, well, we wouldn't want to go down that road and find out, oh, we can't rent it to somebody.
Well, you could make that a condition of renting it, that you
Right,
have a
right.
valid background check, so we know that they're safe around kids. You're right, it is, school is property, and there's like proximity to the kids there. Yeah, and we have to look at the whole, we probably want Federal involved in us, to set up some criteria and some legal parameters, so we weren't exposed to liability.
But I think there's a neat opportunity, like I said, if you created a nice, clean, maintained duplex that was designed for nurses and student teachers and guest speakers, there is a niche there because nobody's gonna want to rent a house, and kind of like you said, with green shag carpet.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think if you could build on that, it might be worth pursuing. It's a neat structure.
It is.
You would hate for it to.
It really is, it's a nice layout. Go ahead. Yeah, very well. I was impressed.
Well, I think it's worth pursuing. I don't know if we feel like we want to make a decision on that tonight, three of us, or whether we want to have a broader discussion.
You could have a broader discussion at the end of the month, but okay, because that'd be better. That's the only reason I'd say that, because it's a broader view, but hopefully then we'd move on to decide to do something.
I think it has a lot.
It has potential, yeah.
Maybe if we brought it back, we'd get a little bit tighter numbers on what it would take to kind of get it up to speed, and what some of our other options are, we just kind of threw out in terms of are there some liabilities if we open it up to nurses, but if we did, and we have a little house on our property that my in-laws live in now, but when they were living there, there were nurses that, I had nurses like that, and they weren't afraid to pay $450,000 a month for rent, and that was several years ago, so maybe, because they get a stipend, basically, don't they? I mean, they get, a lot of it, they get reimbursed.
Well, yeah, and anymore, if they pull in traveling nurses, they, the hospital itself has to pay for that.
Right.
As part of their
Oh.
I mean, so that $350 a
They
month
might
number
do.
is pretty low, I think. if
It
we
is
wanted
pretty low compared to
pursue.
what I think they pay for some of their houses, yeah.
For what it is now.
For what it is
But if
now.
we
What
did
it
it
could
where
be,
it-
I
it
think
could
we
be a
could
$500
definitely
or
do more
$600
5
month.
plus, yeah.
Well, and two, you might be able to work a deal where they might have a traveler for 3 or 4 months, they pay a certain amount for that, and then if they don't, if it's a long-term lease with them, then if it's empty, they pay a lesser amount too. I know that they've done that in the past with their nurses or whatever's traveling.
I think that would be, I think that would be worth pursuing, and we may bring back have a broader discussion and see. But I think
Okay.
it would give us a justification on putting money into it.
And I'll consult with Hesman too in terms of the legal parameters and liabilities of renting and what we need to put in place to make sure that we're protected.
If we set it up more that way though, do we need to provide linens and, dishes in the kitchen and towels and that kind of stuff?
Well, if we're having like a guest speaker come in and we're putting them up for a night, yeah.
We kind of need to have that.
Yeah, we're gonna have that stuff there.
Yeah, at least to
Yeah.
partially.
And we would have to have the union custodian go out and clean it before and after the use. But that would be all part of the plan,
Absolutely.
And Yes, Mr. Chair, this, we just got, or else I would have brought this to you sooner. And, this proposed legislative priorities for OSBA for 2015. And basically what they're looking for is any kind of input from school boards and school districts throughout the state on these priorities. You can read these just as well as I can read them to you. I think there's some really good ones in here. There's a lot of topics that we talked about as a board. Anywhere from supporting student achievement to stable funding to unfunded mandates to mandate relief, those sorts of things. I know there was a couple that we might find interesting. I'm looking on page 37, in our proposed 2.4, curriculum, technology, and online education. Second sentence, it says OSBA supports curriculum-related decisions made at the district level and opposes state or federal instructional mandates. And I'm not exactly sure if they're speaking toward two common core state standards on that, or if that's something different. I don't have enough information to be able to advise you on that. And then they repeat basically the same statement on the top of page 38. I thought it was interesting on page 39 under proposed career and technical education that they do support new and continued partnerships with community colleges, and I thought of our ILC project. Also supports changes of teacher licensing laws to allow greater flexibility for individuals who do not hold a traditional teaching license to provide instruction in CTE courses. I think that's a great stance to have. Also on 2.7 on post-secondary opportunities for high school students, it's interesting to note that they do not support an advanced diploma program unless the state comes up with the additional funding for that. They see that as deteriorating away from the piece of pie for K-12 as a whole. On page 40, under employee rights and benefits, they do support that employee groups are able to have the most cost-effective health insurance plan, including an OEBP opt-out, and which has always been a controversial subject at the state level, because right now we do not have an opt-out until the exchange comes about, and I think it's not this year, but the next year we can start participating. The rest of it, I think, is pretty standard. There's on page 42 a statement about supporting the 40-40-20 goals and the pre-primary through grade 20 continuum. They're really strong proponents of local governance and local rights of school boards. So they're looking for feedback. So if there is anything that you would like for us to communicate back to Jim Green, who is the legislative guru for OSBA, we can certainly do that with your input tonight. Or if you feel that the position that OSBA is currently taking on are adequate, then we'll just reserve no comment. And this is important to OSBA because as they go through and they start lobbying legislators in terms of potential laws, House bills, Senate bills, they use this predominantly in terms of communications and their standards.
Yeah, the only one that stood out to me was the one about the paperwork reduction kind of discussion that they had that one. You know, they're getting into, I know there's been this attention to increasing bureaucracy.
You're talking page 34, 1.3,
Yeah.
mandate relief, paperwork reduction,
Yes,
public
yeah.
public schools, yeah.
Yeah, kind of, you know, how do you account for things without paperwork in yourself to a corner? That's the question. And you can do that. You just have to think about it a little bit.
So, comments are due back.
August 15th, which is 4 days from now.
Yeah, okay, so I made my right away.
So, could we just send out another note to the other board members and say, if you haven't reviewed this, if there are any comments, get them back, and that way I can spend a little more time with it over. I haven't really paid much attention to it.
Yeah, we can do that.
Comments are due back there.
Yep.
Announcements.
Just a reminder, teacher and service breakfast, August 25th. The board is admin, report at 6 a.m. for cooking eggs, pancakes, sausage, cutting up fruit. It's a great time for all. It's a great discussion to solve all the world's problems.
Oh, really, the 25th?
25th.
What day is it?
And then,
Monday.
if you do, come and help us cook, I think it would be,
Well, I know, because it's the same as the Irish breakfast, but
It's the what?
the 4-H Irish breakfast. It's always.
we would invite you to stay around and serve and even be part of the superintendent's hour if you were going to.
Me? Okay, I think it's an opportunity for me.
So we can count on you, Desi?
Doesn't matter.
But I have a life schedule, but
Yeah, but it's 6 o'clock, they don't interfere with his sleep.
I'm okay. I can wait.
There you go.
It's at the high school.
Yeah, the high school cafeteria. Yep.
Okay,
Okay, all right.
And then keep in mind, our board retreat is scheduled that same day from 4 to 8 p.m.
I'll be ready to go sleep, so I'll get time to have.
But there'll be food.
I think, oh, yeah, we're retreating that night.
Okay,
In
then
my
have seven,
mind-
I'll sleep.
In my mind, the agenda items are going to focus on the board retreat in terms of, we'll probably take a look at just general policies. That's in our policy book in section A on board governance and that sort of thing, just do a quick review. And then spend a lot of time on district goals, because I've got a lot of information to share with you, and we certainly need some guidance on that. And then, moving into a board agenda, I'm going to try and just reserve it for essential items only, if you guys are okay with that. Like if we have any last minute hires or volunteers that need approval, or we'll have a financial report by then. You know, just real simple things like that. And, so our main focus will be the retreat and the work session.
Okay,
Let's see, OSB Fall Regional Meeting, October 7th. Luann, was that changed?
I'm sorry, I was explaining something for the board retreat. Say that again.
October 7th, the OSB Fall Regional. I thought I saw an email that said,
She was gonna change it, no one could do it to a change date, so it stayed at October 7th.
oh, so it stayed October 7th. Is that going to work for anybody's calendar? And if so, who could attend?
I put it on mine today.
Pardon me?
I put it on mine today.
Okay, good. So you're on?
okay.
yeah, I know, I'm running late, sorry.
You might set another record.
I'm trying. October 7th.
So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
All right.
And then
11/4.
on October 3rd at 11 a.m., put it on your calendars, we have a geothermal project dedication ceremony. We'll be at Lake District Hospital.
At what time?
That's October 3rd at 11 a.m. at Lake District Hospital. As I get further details and developments, I'll pass them along. I think it'd be a great ceremony. I think Mr. Sims, the Lake Town Manager, is looking at inviting some dignitaries from USDA, politicians, people of that nature. It'd be a great opportunity to network and talk and celebrate this wonderful deed project we have.
Okay. Our late items.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have extra duty approvals, which you have some extra duty recommendations there. Annual Steve Scoville, Band Choir Nicole Harris, LHS ASB is Renee Bauer, DMS ASB Brandy Niter, and NFA, and the SAE contract for Henning. We didn't put any days attached because there's no changes to what we're recommending.
and seconded to approve the extracurricular contracts as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, carried.
Mr. Hamilton, would you volunteers? This is a late item, but Mr. Hamilton and I have reviewed this.
Some volunteer coaches for this fall. It goes on board, fall practice starts next week, so.
Mr. Gale, it's nice to see Bill on there.
Yeah, I'm just excited about this. Yeah, good. Boy, loves football, so.
Yeah.
So now, who are the soccer people?
Sierra Jones is the gal that has coached in the district in the past. Coached softball at Sisters High School this past spring, and is in town working for the BLM.
Oh, okay.
And then Alfonso Capson is a local guy that real good soccer background, coached in AYSO,
Oh,
youth stuff, yeah. So,
all right.
I will make a motion that we accept the volunteer coaching recommendations as presented.
Aye. Second?
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the volunteer coaching recommendations as presented. All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. And we're reading the agenda items.
No, Mariah.
No, 12:13 is in the regular order.
12.2.
12.
12.2,
Oh,
LHSD and
sorry,
staff.
you added the volunteers. 12:2. I'm trying to get my copy of the Trying my, so.
Mr. Brock, would you like to present this with?
Sure. No major changes, just some housekeeping, change of dates. We did add the standard response protocol to the emergency procedures that we're going to train our staff this year. So added that language to our safety section there.
I make the motion that we approve the revisions as presented.
All right, motion's been made and seconded to approve the LHS as staff handbook amendments as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion carries.
And Mr. Chair, I made a grave error. We did have a 12.3, and it's in front of you. It says 12.3 in the upper right-hand corner, and it is labeled DMS LHS First Day of School Orientation Day, and there's also the elementary version attached to that. So I'm going to have each principal kind of detail and outline what their orientation day is about, and that's the Tuesday after Labor Day.
Is mine on the top there?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Third year of this format. As you remember, the first year we had 7, 8, and 9, grades 9. And after some feedback from surveying some parents and teachers, when we kind of debriefed, we felt like we'd go the next year with 7 and 8 and got much better response there. And then, so we're gonna stay with that format, 7th and 8th only on a half a day, where they're gonna have the run of the place. We've got a lot of great feedback from those middle school parents that really appreciate that transition day. We help them with their locker, we make scheduled changes, we take them to the gym, do assembly etiquette, just makes Wednesday so much smoother for those kids. They're pretty anxious on that first day. And so we felt that's a pretty good morning for us. The afternoon, the high school kids are coming in to get their schedules, and we take attendance based on them picking up their schedule. They're expected to make any class changes at that time. Meet with teachers if they need to. Teachers will be available for students and parents all afternoon. We have a lot of kids come in and bring supplies in, put stuff in their locker, decorate their lockers, and so, once again, the line out the counseling office door is much smaller on Wednesday because of this day. It really helps make that first day of classes so much smoother. And, we did get a little bit of response from some parents about if they really couldn't go down and meet with teachers. It really was a conflict for as far as having that open and calling it an open house. So we're gonna kind of see what kind of parent turnout we get on that first day, and if we feel that we didn't get a lot of parents, we're gonna return to an evening open house.
Okay, good.
And so the buses don't run for the high school kids at all?
No, the buses, basically, we had some high school kids ride in on the buses last year, and there's just really nothing for them to do until the afternoon. So that's the reason. I mean, if they're there, we'll supervise them and we can get them their schedule. But the teachers are busy with middle school students, and there's really nothing for them to do. So the bus drivers like that, having that day, because it's kind of their practice run too. They stop at all their stops and kind of time it out and kind of start generating their lists. But the elementary school's on a drop-in basis, the high school's on a drop-in basis, so they're really the only ones that, if they need to ride the bus, should be the middle school kids.
With our new shop teacher, he's gonna maybe do the small engines, is that?
Yes.
And possibly welding?
Yes.
Will those be first semester or second semester?
Small engines is first semester, welding is second.
Is there a way that we can get the word out that may boost the attendance in the small engine class?
We have the registration, we're starting tomorrow, the word will be out.
I mean, I think some of the kids that have maybe not taken that, just based on past experiences, they may jump on it. It might be pretty
Popular, yeah, good. We'll get the word out.
good. Yeah, I would say.
And keep in mind that both principals, and we'll hear Mr. Cahill's presentation in a second, but both principals will have this information at registration. So parents will be getting it, it's on the district website. Hopefully, our reporter will do maybe a little feature story on it, but I think there's a lot of value to this. We've had a lot of feedback from staff and parents, and I think both principals have done a good job of putting this plan together. So Mr. Cahill?
Well, ours is, I'll jump into Union first. Union is a drop-in, open house, 8 o'clock. Susan scheduled that. A lot of union parents are working parents, and the idea was to catch them as they're going to work. And that seems to have proven to have been the most effective thing as far as getting the greatest number of parents to attend. So that's union. The big thing that by law, since we are Title 1A schools, is we have to have like a quote an annual meeting each year to notify parents about the aspects of Title 1A. So we've been using this as a very good venue to do that. We don't do we don't do a verbal presentation, but as they come in the door, we hand out a full handout, have them sign in as far as all the aspects related to Title 1A, and that keeps us in compliance. So once they come through the door, we have a number of parents who have students in both Fremont and Hay. So what I've done, I have set up 4 presentation times throughout the day for those parents who have multiple kids in the school. Case in point, say a parent might have a kindergartner, they would go to the 8 o'clock presentation at Fremont, and, you know, the teachers will present, of course, every aspect, I'm not gonna say every aspect, the aspects related to their classroom, grading, curriculum, classroom procedures. The kids get to bring their materials in, put them into their assigned desks, and so on. And if they have a kid over at Hay, then they go to a 9 o'clock presentation over at Hay. And if they want to wait until the afternoon, we do it again at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So parents have the opportunity to hit 4 times throughout the day for formal presentations. So, being a former county fair 4-H leader, I know the fair aspect weighs heavy into this day, and it has in the past, especially when we built our calendar. I see this has been a very nice thing for those parents who have 4-H students. They can come and hit those afternoon sessions, and hopefully their 4-H members will be all rested up from in the morning. So anyway,
And I think
hopefully that's going to be a win-win.
That really captures the essence of what this is about. It's about getting parents and students ready for school. And when Wednesday comes around, bam, away they go. And the learning process is protected. I think we're finding that we're getting a lot more bang for our buck that way versus trying to mix in, you know, housekeeping stuff the first day as long as, in addition to trying to teach a lesson that same day. It just kind of gets all lost in the shuffle. And this way there's a clean separation. Wednesday they're ready to go. Instruction moves forward.
In addition, we have Tony Shannon. She comes down there and she runs through the bus routes, the pickup times, the pickup procedures, etc. So that's been a nice addition too. We started doing that last year. And as Sean said, I think at the elementary level, it's been really good as far as helping us really smoothly move into that first day of school, especially with the kindergarten crowd. That first day of school, I watched it year after year after year. It's hard, well, I was a kindergarten parent one time too. It's hard to let go of those babies and turn them loose on their own for the first time. That day is just a nice, smooth transition to have those parents take their kindergarten students in, show them their desks, show them the classroom where they're going to be, and it's very good for kids too. It kind of gives them a sense of introduction to the room and the procedures and everything else. The kindergarten, if anything, as far as this thing, if I were to label a success, it's the kindergarten aspect particularly, because that's been really good as far as really transitioning those kindergarten kids in that first day of school.
Okay, now,
Go ahead.
so the previous kindergartner teacher was Mrs. Lisney. Now she moved to third?
Second.
Second.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's our K teacher?
Mrs. Lee.
Mrs.
Michelle
Lee?
Lee, yeah.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
So anyway, that's the elementary piece. Any questions? We're really trying to get the word out. I think the first 2 years, confusion here and there, but it is on the website, and hopefully this gentleman here will help get the word out too, and hopefully it will go smooth.
Okay. Absolutely. All right.
No. Next, board meeting agenda items. Anything we need to add at this time?
Nothing from what we've already talked about.
So then, we will adjourn and take a 5-minute break and then come back to the work session.
Okay.